Hi, ladies and gents. My name is Tom Gibson, and today we are looking at the different ways that you can actually end your year on a high note, even though it's been a super challenging year. I have an idea. I've got a course on how you can actually do this by giving your students class jobs and paying them in classroom money. And so if you're new here, my name is Tom Gibson, and this channel is all about teaching you how to design an engaging classroom experience for your students and a meaningful and a fulfilling teaching experience for yourself. And so what we're going to be looking at today, hopefully, if this is actually live, because I'm having some issues with my new computer. It says that it's live. All right, well, let's see. Switch to a sneak peek. There we go. Maybe it is. Okay, I think we're good. We're good to go. Sorry about that. It's so unprofessional to be like, am I live? Let me just wait till everybody gets in the room. All right, let's see. Chris has joined me. Chris has joined me for a few seconds. He said, won't be able to join today. Hope everything goes well. I appreciate you checking in, Chris, just to say hi. And I do hope that you have a good Wednesday. But if you're new here, earlier this week, I had posted a video that was all about a system that I've created, a program that I've created for other educators on how to create a classroom where you empower your learners, where you create self-regulated students, where you actually have fun in class. I have been remote all year, and we are moving to a hybrid model next week. It'll be the first time that we've done hybrid. We didn't go hybrid and then go back to distance learning or anything like that. We've been distance all year, and even before this year, I had classroom jobs, and it was a really fun aspect of my classroom, and students got paid in classroom money. And then this year when we went remote, I was like, how am I going to do classroom jobs and pay kids and classroom money and make it something that's fun and enjoyable and like that the students want to go to and they want to show up to class, because it was a really rich part of my classroom when I was in person. And so I made some modifications and some adaptations. And then I had a course that walked teachers how to do this, and I updated the course throughout the year to kind of say, like, these are the changes that I am making. This is what I'm doing differently this year, now that we are remote. And for the first time, I am doing this course, but I am doing it. Everyone's starting at the same time. I'm starting the course March 1st, and it's going to be a 4-week course. And by the end of the course, you will have what's called this classroom economy up and running in your classroom. Okay. So what I thought today would be useful, would be helpful, would be to show you what actually comes in the course, what this course is all about, because I know particularly as a teacher, I really have to think long and hard before I put money towards, some resource or something that's going to help me in the classroom. I got to think, like, is this something that I can kind of just figure out on my own? Is this something I can just go to YouTube and find out? What is really driving me to even purchase this resource? And so I want to give you as much information as you'd like. This is going to be very much a Q&A sort of format. So if you have any questions about this as I'm going through it, feel free to leave it in the chat. And then I'll also answer some frequently asked questions that I get about the course at the end of it as well, some of them that have already come through. So let's first kind of just see what this course, that's not what I want, what this course is all about. There I am. All right. It is called How to Teach Kids About Money Plus. I almost even I played around with that title because I was like, this is so much more than just teaching kids about money. This is really about creating a wonderful classroom culture. It's really about having students take some of the responsibilities that you have as a teacher and then giving it to them. It's about incentivizing students to want to contribute to the class and be a part of the classroom community through classroom money. It's a classroom management system because students can get fines and they can get rewards for certain types of actions and behaviors in the class. So it's so much more than just like a financial literacy thing to do in your classroom. But that is really, one of the central pieces of it. And so the real heart of it is you're going to create a classroom where students earn, save, spend, and invest their classroom money. And as I said, this course has been updated for distance learning. And so I kind of share all the modifications that I've made this year, as well as kind of like telling you what do I do when this is a normal year? What does it look like? The big draw with this is this idea that this is a group class. Formerly, this course was offered as a, you purchase it and then you just go at your own pace whenever you can. But for the first time, where I'm going through this with a group of teachers, and it starts March 1st. It's going to be 4 weeks. You're going to have a schedule of deadlines to complete certain modules, and I'll talk about what goes in each of those modules. But that's going to help out with a lot of times. I think it's really helpful to have, like, I need to get this done by the end of the week, as opposed to like, I'll get to that when I get to that. Having deadlines, I think, is going to really help people that may otherwise not have finished the course. And so it keeps you on track. And then you're going to have more guidance from me through asynchronous office hours. I'm not all for joining like more meetings and more Zooms and everything like that. And so the way this will work is in this course, there's going to be a bunch of short video lessons that you go through throughout the month, and you'll have assignments to help prepare you to implement this in your classroom. And each week there's going to be certain discussions that you can ask questions or share resources or share insights about what you're doing in your classroom. And then as you ask those questions, I'm going to be going in throughout the week and responding to those questions. My medium of choice, if it's a quick question that I can respond with text, I'll do that. But a lot of times I think teachers need to see what I'm talking about. And so I'll likely record a lot of Loom video responses to your questions throughout the month. So that way you don't have to like show up to a Zoom meeting at 8:00 at night on Tuesdays to ask your questions. But they'll be answered pretty quickly within the day. So that's kind of like when it says, people are like, what's the plus mean? It's like, you're getting that extra support of going through this with a group of other teachers, having a schedule, having a deadline, and also having more direct support from me as you go through it. I'm not going to play this video on what is included in the course because that's what I'm talking about right now. But the whole idea of a classroom economy for me started in 2014. I had classroom jobs, but I read a book by a teacher named Rafe Esquith, and he had these classroom jobs, but the students got paid in classroom money. And I was like, that's super intriguing. And I had a lot of thoughts on a classroom economy or just in money, not so much of like doing it. I just didn't know, how do I teach kids about money in a way that's not going to detract from the curriculum that I'm teaching? Because at the time I was teaching in 5th grade, and it wasn't a financial literacy class. It was just math and science and social studies. What can I do to teach kids about money in a fun way that's tied to their classroom jobs? And so I started doing this in 2014. And then throughout the year, it just kind of kept evolving and changing. And I started out like all paper-based, like paper money and everything like that. And then I moved to like having actual all digital, all virtual money, because I was like, I don't deal with paper money. I literally am meeting someone later today to sell an old computer, and he wanted to pay with cash. And I was like, cash? Like, I don't need... What am I going to do with that? Like, everything I do is online right now. And so he's going to pay me with PayPal, but I don't do anything with cash. And it was a headache to kind of have cash in the classroom and manage it. And so everything that I do now over the course of the year has been digitized, which really makes it helpful and useful doing this with remote learning. But I've been doing this since 2014, and since then, the students have told me, like, this is the most engaging thing that we do in our class. This is the thing that they look forward to. This is like when there have been years where, like, my pre-algebra class was doing classroom economy and another pre-algebra class wasn't, and the other teacher was like, Tom, my students are asking me if we're doing classroom economy, and I said no, and they looked really upset. I'm like, I can help you if you want to do it, but it's something that like the kids hear about and they talk about and they look forward to it, and so it's really been a really meaningful and engaging experience for my kids. And even in 2015, I was doing it for the first time at my current school. It was one of the earlier iterations of it, and I had a student named Brandon. And he was kind of just figuring out how to like game the system and how to get as much money as he could. And there was a big final like auction at the end of the year where there was kind of these fun prizes, and students weren't supposed to like team up and like combine their money to buy stuff, because I wanted them to like learn the value of saving and like using your own money. But he was trying to find all these ways to like scheme it. Like, what if we just did this? Or what if we started a classroom business and then I could buy this thing from you and pay you for it and all sorts of stuff. The best part is when you get free money for coming to class on time. Yeah, that is a current student speaking on the classroom economy. But that student, he was in 7th grade back in 2015, and then he came back in when he was he was in 7th grade. He came back when he was a junior. And then the first thing, just to visit, the first thing he asked me was, Tom, are you still doing classroom economy? And I was like, yeah, and it's actually changed a lot since when you were in it. We were talking about all the different changes. He's like, oh man, why didn't you do that with us? And I was like, I don't know, I couldn't think about it. And like, he's like, man, I totally would have dominated had you done it that way with us. And he was talking about the classroom economy years after he left my classroom. He wasn't talking about like, oh, Tom, remember when you taught us the exponent rules? Like, I'm still using those today, and it's going really well. And it's been the most memorable and meaningful experience for my students, the most engaging thing that I've done in person, that I've done virtually. My students now tell me like, oh, Tom, like this is really fun to actually still do, have classroom economy, because a lot of my current students that are doing it were especially in my physical science classes. They're 8th graders. A lot of them had me when they were in 7th grade or 6th grade, and so they're doing it for the second time, and so they're really really excited about that. And it's been fun. It's been like something that's fun, and this year needs as much like fun in the classroom as we can get. And so the different things that I teach you in this course, each of these modules, you're going to go through them like 1 week at a time. So there's 4 modules. It's 4 weeks long. The first module, we walk through how to set it up. And the second one, I walk through how to your students apply for the class jobs and how you actually hire them. The third module is like, how do you train the students to do their jobs correctly? And then the fourth module is like, what does the end of the year look like if students want to like buy their desk as an asset and see the value of the desk grow? And kind of like getting those investment opportunities there. But with the course, each lesson is going to have an instructional video that you watch, and then you're going to be given resources in the form of a Google Doc that you can customize. What I really find frustrating is when I'm getting something online, a resource from another teacher, and it's like a PDF or Microsoft Word document, and I don't have Microsoft Word on my computer, and then trying to bring it into Google Docs and then like having to reformat everything. These are Google Docs that you can literally create a copy of, and they are your version that you can customize as you see fit. So hopefully that will save you a lot of time. You're not going to have to recreate all this stuff on your own. And then each lesson, you're going to have your own assignment. So I actually want to jump in to see what it looks like from the student perspective. When you being the student as the teacher joining my course, you'll see that I've got some welcome stuff about like, what this course looks like and what you'll actually be doing and things like that. What I'm really excited about is this discussion feature. This is going to be where a lot of the conversations actually happen when it comes to like, share your resources or what questions do you have, where you click on the discussion and you can start your own discussion here. And it's kind of like a little feed of questions and posts and stuff. And then you can introduce like this one, the first one is people is going to say, introduce yourself, like let us know who you are and what grade you teach and why you enroll and the worries or questions or concerns you have when it comes to completing this course. And so that's going to be there, and that's going to be one of the primary ways that we continue the conversation. We dialogue about all of these different modules, and you'll be able to leave a discussion on any one of these modules here. And I will also be creating like a whole topic where it's like, what are your questions from the week that maybe don't fit into to some module that are here. Hey, what's up, August? I'm so glad you like my streams. I know you're not the target audience of these streams, and you probably enjoy more of the gaming content, but I appreciate you tuning in. And so, like, if we take a look at week 1, this is going to be March 1st through March 5th. One of the main questions people have is like, how long is this going to take to go through this course? I'm still teaching. I'm doing hybrid. It takes a lot of time. I would say about 90 minutes a week is what I'm estimating it'll take most people. It's not 90 minutes of video that you have to watch each week. The entire course is about 2.5 hours of video, and most of the videos are about 6 to 8 minutes long. There's a few that are longer where I'm kind of doing a more in-depth tutorial, but the actual watching of the video doesn't take the time. It's the homework, the assignment part of things. So for example, this is the welcome video, or let's actually go to the Classroom Economy setup video right here. I've got the objectives of what you're going to learn on this lesson, the goals, different standards, financial literacy standards, guidance on where to find your financial literacy standards. And then if you push play, let's see, are we hearing that? There we go. Yeah, okay, now I'm hearing it. So you watch this video, you can see this one is 4.5 minutes long, and you can even click on this little gear and speed it up. So if you're really pressed on time, I've done online courses, and a lot of times I'll just hover around 1.5 speed. 2x is kind of fast for me, but you don't have to watch it at 1x speed. So it's a good little insider tip. I do have a full transcript of almost every video here. There's a couple of the newer ones that I've done for distance learning that I don't have a transcript of. So hopefully that will be useful to you. So you can see it's just a PDF. So if you prefer just to read through it, or if you need to refer back to it, that option is going to be available. And then I do a recap of what the video was about. I give you some resources, and then I give you some homework right here of what to do. And then you go through, and then in the homework, I'll also let you know, like, go up the discussions and leave your resources in the discussions or something like that. And so this creating class jobs, this one's going to be the one that's kind of like, it gives you more of your homework is to, copy and paste. You're going to create a document, a copy of the class jobs document. You're going to watch my video on class jobs and what class jobs that I have, and then customize it as you see fit. And then you're going to learn about fines and bonus money. So are there things that your students, you think that they should receive a fine for, lose money in their bank account for doing particular behaviors, either being off task or being late or not having their supplies, whatever it is? Or are there things that you would like to give them bonus money for? And so this is what it looked like when I was in person, and then I've got a document down here on what it actually looks like now during distance learning, as some of those expectations have changed. And so you can see that. That's going to be all the first week. So about 90 minutes of kind of creating those resources, your own class jobs, and your own fines, your own bonus money, deciding what that's going to be for your classroom, your grade level. Week 2, March 8th through the 12th, we are going to look at the actually introducing the system to the students, like how do you implement it. I even give you my Google Slides that you can copy and paste and customize. I give you the job application that I share with my students. I talk about how to hire your students on week 2, as well as setting up the virtual bank. This is going to give you all the insights that you need to like set up pay grade, which is actually something that I've done on the live stream a couple weeks ago that you can check. I'll link in the description if you'd like to go see that. Week 3 of the course is going to be like, all right, you've given your students jobs and you've created the bank account for them. What does training look like? How do I train my students so that I don't have to keep reminding them to do their jobs and they do it correct each time? We're going to look at fine day. What does it look like when students pay fines? There was a specific day that we had for it when we were in person. When we're virtual, it kind of just, the students pay fines as they need to, and so you'll see some of those things there. What does bonus money day or bonus money look like in the class, and what does auction day look like in the class, or whether you are remote or virtual? And I talk about how we're planning on doing one auction now that we're remote and hybrid, but in person it would be like a monthly thing. Week 4, the last week, you're going to talk about, we're going to learn about students buying their desks and what does that look like and how do you do that in pay grade and all sorts of stuff. What do you do? What kind of conversations do you have if students start going into debt? And then like, how do you end the year with a final auction to kind of get the kids super stoked and excited. And then this bonus module, I have kind of all my distance learning resources in one place, and they're also scattered throughout all the modules and stuff, but I thought it'd be helpful to have them in one place there. And then a project that I actually go through with my students, or at least that I did last year. It's a remote learning project on how to make money from home using eBay. And so that's kind of an overview of what is included in the course. And then I walk you through the entire step of the way. Really, the first 2 weeks are going to be the more time-intensive ones, and then week 3 and week 4 are kind of like, oh, okay, now I know how to do that when that comes up or when that's going to happen. But a lot more of the planning happens in those first couple of weeks. So one of the questions that I get is, what's the difference between this? Because I've got a couple different courses about classroom jobs and classroom economies. What's the difference between this and my free course on classroom jobs? What's the difference between this and my other course on the classroom economy? So I know it can be kind of confusing, so let's kind of take a look. The free course is called Essential Student Jobs for the Middle School Classroom of Tomorrow. This course is only about student jobs. It has nothing to do with financial literacy and paying students and class money. There's nothing about the online virtual bank. There's nothing about auctions. There's nothing about students buying or selling or fines or bonus money. There's none of that. This is just how do you get students to do and apply for really kind of cool and fun and unique jobs in the classroom. Okay, so this is one that I actually talked about on a couple podcasts that have been released recently that a lot of people that maybe you are here on this video because you heard either the Cult of Pedagogy podcast or something like that. But this is the student jobs course that's free. And the other 2 courses are how to teach kids about money basic and how to teach kids about money plus. The big difference between basic and plus, you'll see it's even the same picture. It's the exact same actual course, like all those same modules, all those same videos, all those same assignments. The only difference is that plus is actually you're going through the course with a group of teachers. You are going through the course with other people starting on March 1st to have a classroom economy done within 4 weeks in your classroom. You are going to be given a deadline of when certain modules need to be completed. You're going to have more support from me in the plus version. If you're the kind of person that's like, I'm really good with time management. I can set my own deadlines. I don't really feel I need, the support of a community or other people to do this. I just kind of need the videos organized, and then I can make it happen in the month of March or whenever I'm going to make it happen. Then go with the basic plan. If you are like, I really would like support, I know if I get the basic plan, I'm going to buy it, and then I'm probably not going to do it because I don't have those deadlines and the schedule and everything, and I need that structure and support. Get the plus, okay? And so with the basic plan is, I'm sure the price is the big question. The basic plan is $99. The plus plan is $149, but you can get some discounts if you get more people to enroll with you. So feel free to reach out about that and email me about that. So Essential Student Jobs of the Middle School Classroom of Tomorrow, free course, only about jobs. How to teach kids about money, both the basic and the plus version. Those are how to actually incorporate the paying students classroom money for their classroom job and the entire system around that. Basic, you're on your own. You're doing it on your own. No accountability. There's no community working through it. And then plus is you've got a calendar, a schedule. You're working with other teachers through this content together. And so those are the 2 differences between basic and plus. All right. So that is the course. The enrollment deadline for plus, since it starts on Monday of next week, the deadline to enroll is midnight Saturday night. Okay, or once 250 educators sign up. So if you think you want to do this, I would sign up sooner than later. But you will not be able to sign up for the plus version after midnight on Saturday because we will be starting on Monday, and that group is going to be working through the content. And so that's the let me see. Were there any other questions here? On the bottom of the actual Plus page and the basic page, these are some of the frequently asked questions. I'll go through these fairly quickly. Course starts March 1st and goes through March 28th. Will I have access to the materials after the Plus session ends? Yes, you'll have lifetime access to all of the videos and the lessons and stuff. What happens after I enroll? You'll get an email from me that says like, hey, bookmark the course page, and then your course, all the videos and stuff will be available starting March 1st. And then so it'll give you instructions there. Is the course run by an instructor? There's no live classes that you have to meet at a certain time for this course, but I will be supporting you all along the way in what I'm calling asynchronous office hours, where I'm going to let you know, like, here, let me know about your questions as you work through these modules this week. And then throughout the week, I am going to be answering those questions. So that way it is available to you whenever you are able to access it, and you don't have to meet with me at a specific time. Would a classroom economy work in my grade level and content area? Yes. I've seen classroom economies work all the way from kindergarten all the way through seniors in high school. You can make this work in any grade, any content level. You don't have to be a financial literacy middle school, high school teacher. I've done this in 5th grade. I've done this in middle school math, science, robotics. You can make it work in any of your classes. Do you accept purchase orders? Yes, but the deadline for that was this past week because I needed to receive those before this week to get them processed. I talked about this one, the difference between Plus and Basic. And if you have purchased the Basic version, can you still join Plus? Yes, you can. Whatever you purchase the Basic version for, the price, you'll just pay the difference between that and the Plus version. All right. So we are in the last 5 minutes of the live stream. If you didn't know, at the end of my live stream, as a way of giving back to the teaching community, I look to see if there's any donors choose projects that I would like to give $50 to, because whatever money that I make with my business, I set some aside to give back to middle school STEM, usually middle school STEM, but generally just education in general. And then I thought it'd be really fun and cool to do it on a live stream, where if teachers have reached out beforehand about a Donors Choose project, or if they're here during the live stream and they share their Donors Choose project, then I will consider that project to donate $50 to, as every time I do the live stream, as long as I have money in my giving back account. So as long as my business keeps making money, I'll keep doing my best to give $50. And so one of the teachers that reached out was Ashley Brown. Ashley is actually, I believe, gone through. Yeah, she has gone through the How to Teach Kids About Money course, and she teaches government and economics, which is super cool. So it's like a perfect fit for her class, but it's also perfect if you teach middle school math or elementary school. It works for anything. But she reached out. And she said she's been using Nearpod. I've used Nearpod before, which is it's really cool, but their free plan is pretty limited in how many lessons you can have there. And so she's having to like delete old plans to get new ones up there, which can be kind of a bummer, because if you want those resources for your students available throughout the semester or the unit, it's like, oh, well, I don't want to delete this because I want the students to be able to see it, but then I'm running out of space. And so she is trying to get the premium version, where you can have an unlimited amount of lessons with Nearpod. And I get the struggle, because this was the reason I didn't continue to use Nearpod this year, because of that limitation. And then we weren't able to get funds from my school to get it throughout the year. So I really like Nearpod. So I've felt this pain that she is going through, and so I would like to. I chose her classroom as the one to give $50 to hopefully bring her a little bit closer to her goal. And let's see, I've already got my credit card saved, so I don't need to hide that from any of you looking at my credit card number. You just know the last 4 numbers, which I'm not too worried about. Let's go ahead and place my $50 donation. And I actually know Ashley, and she knows me. She reached out over Instagram about this. And so my message, hey, Ashley, I hope this helps move you towards being able to continue to use Nearpod in the classroom. I know how powerful of a tool it can be, and let me know how the fundraiser how this fundraiser goes, because this is not the full amount, but hopefully it brings her closer. Let me know. Post my message. And no thanks. I will choose each week a different one. All right. Thank you for donating. So I hope that she's able to. Ashley, if you are seeing this, I do hope that you're able to get the funds that you need to be able to do that. And so hopefully that $50 will help out a little bit. But it is 8:59. I really appreciate everyone coming in. I appreciate some of my students popping in as well. And I'll be here next week. Thanks for the live session, of course, Caleb. I'll be here next week. I can't remember what's on the live stream docket for next week, but I'll post something up about it on Instagram or one of those, like, schedule the live stream. So thank you so much for joining today. And my outro music's not working. Maybe if I turn it up really loud or something, you can hear it. You hear that? You can kind of hear that. All right. Thanks so much for coming, and I will see you all soon.